when the Jewish-Christian alliance emerges, as it has emerged in Europe, and you are prohibited from becoming their friends and allies, then Allah declares, if you disobey this command and you join them and become their friends and allies, you now belong to them. You no longer belong to us. So, we need a new theology for the last age. We cannot remain with the old theology of how do we define a Muslim. Who is a Muslim and who is not a Muslim? We studied this subject as students. This is Kalam, Islamic theology. And large volumes have been written on this subject. But when the last stage comes, you need a new theology with which to determine who is a Muslim and who is not. Because Allah says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. And whosoever from amongst you turns to them, as nearly all the governments have done, you no longer belong to us, you now belong to them. Saudi Arabia is a client state of the Jewish-Christian alliance which today rules the world. They no longer belong to us, they now belong to them. So wake up and recognize the reality of the world in which you are living. This pivotally important verse of the Quran, pivotally important verse of the Quran, for understanding the reality of the world today. When you study it from the books of tafsir, you will not find the meaning of the verse as it explains tomorrow. I want to turn now to yet another verse of the Quran, which tells us about tomorrow. This is the last age. We want to know, where is the last age taking us? In Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah number 21 of the Quran, the prophets, there is a remarkable verse. I have a dear student, a Sheikh from Africa, from Niger, who did his PhD in Islamic studies, and who probably is weeping today. Sheikh Saleh Idrisa Ibrahim. And when the recording of this lecture reaches him, he'd probably weep even more. Because for the last 2 months, he's been trying to attend this retreat. And today he's not here. He has his ticket paid for, but today he's not here because he did not get a visa as yet to come. Having fulfilled all the requirements for a visa, a man with a PhD, a sheikh from Africa, and could not be here in the Caribbean to attend today's program. But Sheikh Saleh has studied this verse with me. We've jointly worked on this ayah. Every single tafsir we studied. What is the verse? Allah speaks, بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. And he says, he speaks about a town, Qarya, a town. And he says that he destroyed that town. And having destroyed the town, he placed a ban that they could never return to the town to reclaim it as their own, the people of the town. No. They can never return to this town to reclaim it. Hatta, until. He's speaking now of tomorrow, until a time comes when one of the major signs of the last day appears. What is it? The companions were sitting talking amongst themselves when he, the Prophet ﷺ, came and asked, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "We're talking about the signs of the last day." And he said the last day would not come until, and he mentioned 10 signs. You know them, don't you? The fingertips. Number 1. And these are not given in the chronological order in which they will occur. Number 1, Dajjal, the false Messiah, the Antichrist. Number 2, Gog and Magog, who are in the Bible. Gog and Magog, Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Number 3, the return of the Son of Mary. The return of the Son of Mary. Number 4, Dukhan, smoke. Number 5, Dabbatul Ard, a creature of the earth. Number 6, that the sun would rise even in Barakpur from the west. Number 7, 8 and 9. 3, khusuf, plural of khas. Khas is a sinking of the earth, therefore an earthquake. An earthquake, a sinking of the earth. And the earth sinks down and swallows what it swallows. One in the east, one in the west, and the third one in Arabia. And number 10, that a fire will come out of Yemen. I tell you, the Saudis don't like number 10 at all. That a fire will come out of Yemen and would drive people to their place of assembly, Judgment Day, perhaps. So these are the 10 major signs. And of these 10, there is one, Gog and Magog. This book was just written on this subject. An Islamic view of Gog and Magog in the modern world, and there are many who are very uncomfortable with this book because it has given a different understanding and explanation of the subject from that to which they are traditionally accustomed. And so Allah speaks about a town which He destroyed, and the people were expelled. And then He placed a ban that they could never return to reclaim that town as their own. حتى إذا فتحت يأجوج ومأجوج وهم من كل حدب ينسلون, until Gog and Magog are released. Allah releases them, not the Security Council of the UN. Allah releases them until Gog and Magog are released. And when they are released, nasl, they procreate.